welcome back to the DownLo Weekly Show. We'll be giving you the lowdown on sports, tech, music, new ideas, and the current events of the week. As your hosts, Lauren B.
And Manny C.
So we're so excited to introduce our featured guest, and we're their guests, Implicitly Awkward.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yes, this is Implicitly Awkward here. I am one of your hosts, Alexia.
I'm your other host, Marcus. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you guys for wanting to be. I know we've been wanting to collab for, I don't know, it's been months. So thank you guys for wanting to do this.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to look forward to talking to you guys and talking about what your show stands for, what you guys talk about, and just getting to know the hosts too, because you guys are interesting people.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're so happy to be on and be super interesting. Yeah, but I'm glad this is finally happening because I know everything with the pandemic has been tough. But yeah, I'm really excited to get to talk to y'all and collaborate podcast to podcast.
Podcast solidarity. Here we go.
Are we sister podcasts yet, or wait until after the show? We don't have a sister podcast. That's why.
As we can be siblings.
Sibling? Yeah.
We're sibling podcasts.
There you go. Siblings. I love that.
Podcast. I love it. So, Alexia, how long have you guys been doing the show? Why don't you tell our listeners about how you guys started, where you got your name from?
Yeah, definitely. So Marcus and I, we met at USC social work school, getting our masters. Yes, fight on, go Trojans. Yeah. So Marcus and I were always very much like on the same page, interested in equity, having conversations about social justice and race, all those types of topics. And we were interested in kind of creating like a consulting company at first, but then, quarantine hit, COVID hit, and, we were having conversations back and forth and we're like, why don't we do a podcast?
Yeah. And basically it felt real natural because it feels like we would end up talking about a lot of these things like in class or even just like when we got out of class. So it kind of just came together really perfectly. So that's why we bring all these conversations that we have with each other to our listeners now and now to your show. So once again, thanks for having us,
Yeah. So
nice.
Our whole like concept behind Implicitly Awkward is that we want to make these conversations that can be somewhat awkward and like talk about our implicit biases that we have walking through the world, and make this stuff less taboo, less awkward, and more part of our daily conversations. So there birthed the name Implicitly Awkward.
I love it.
And we're also kind of both kind of awkward, so it works.
Yeah, we are.
So yeah.
Two peas in a pod at USC. I love it. So did you guys meet in class like 2 years ago, or how long ago was that?
Yo, all right.
Was that 2 years ago?
I mean,
Lord.
That's what I'm saying. Like, geez. But we met at the it was a mixer between the Black Graduate Student Network and the Latinx Grad Student Network. Or association, excuse me.
Nice.
So like, yeah, we met then and just like kind of just hit it off because like we were in the same program too. Like since then, we pretty much had class together every semester, at least one. So
yeah, we have. I just remember like we met then and we're like, oh yeah, like why don't we have lunch or something like that? Because their city center, if everybody doesn't know, it's in downtown LA. It's like another campus of USC. So we had classes there. And I just like remember I was on campus and I saw Marcus and there's a bus that goes to city center.
Shadow.
I was like, yeah, I was like, Marcus. And I felt like he was like, oh, who is this girl? Like,
yes.
I was like, don't you remember? Hey, what's up?
I'm notorious for remembering people's faces and not people's names. So I was like, oh. hey, what up? You know, but
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, so ever since then, we've always been like super good friends and homies and like been able to talk about like all this different stuff. And yeah, so I'm really like happy to be in this with Marcus just because he's a dope ass person. A
man,
dope person.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, and likewise, yeah, it makes it
Aw.
easier. Yo, honestly, it just makes it easier to
Oh,
be friends with
I'm
the people
feeling
you
the
work with.
love.
It makes it
I'm
easier,
feeling
right?
the love.
Feeling the love.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, it's easier when you like the people you work with. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
what about
100%.
y'all? Like, the DownLo Weekly. Like, tell us more about that.
Whew.
All
I'll let you handle that one, Manny. And then I'll
right.
correct him if he's wrong.
Ooh.
All right, so we decided to create this podcast back in May, like April, May. And the reason why it's called the DL Weekly Show is because Lowe's Twitter handle has always been DownLo Weekly or DownLo Daily, right? So like we're brainstorming names, thinking. I was like, why don't we just call it DL Weekly Show? You know, the DownLo Weekly Show, because at the time we had time to do shows every week. So we stuck with that. It was just a wordplay off her Twitter handle, her Instagram handle, and it just started like that. We had a mic. She had bought a mic. We had computers. A little bit of googling how to do this, and we just started recording and started posting the episodes. Created an Instagram, social media. That's all Lauren. I do all the technical stuff. So behind the scenes, editing, just getting our equipment working, our video working. So I feel like we have a good balance. You know, she does like I said earlier, the social media, and we collab on the outline. And yeah, so that's how it started. It first started just us two talking about the topics that were prevalent, during a week or what we thought was important. And then we started getting guests, and those guests are people from our community. We just want to, make them stand out and see what they're about and why they're important to the community and how we could help support them if they're a small business or how they could support us. So I think that's pretty much how it all started. I don't know if you want to add anything, Lo.
I know, well, Manny listens to like a lot of like podcasts. He's been doing that for like 2-3 years. He listens mostly to like tech stuff, and I'm more like politics, I guess. So when I had my Twitter, I would like be seeing like news pop up. And then I don't know, it's just like I would like to research it, like okay, see this side and see this side of it. And then I would tell my like, did you know this happened? And he's like, well, you know so much. Like, how do you know so much? And I'm like, I don't know. I just like to like, it's like the forte. I don't know. It's just, I like to look up things and then like talk about it. So yeah, and that happened in undergrad a lot. Like my classmates like, wait, how'd you know that this happened? Or like, why is this happening? So we just like combined everything. And yeah, and here we are. And this is my boyfriend, by the way. I haven't introduced him.
Oh,
Or he's just my random person. I'm just kidding.
I didn't think I knew that. That is so
Yeah, we've
cute.
been together for 4 years.
Be
Wow.
5, gonna be 5.
Yeah, we're still in 2020, so
Like I gotta tell him because he'll forget, and then
20.
I'll be like, "Come on now, like it's 4.5, gonna be 5." So he pretends he
Wow.
doesn't know, but I know.
That's some commitment. So I guess I'm interested, like, why podcasting? And then also, how is it like working with your significant other?
Yeah, so I'll start off. Like Lauren said, I love listening to podcasts. About 70% of the podcasts I listen to is about tech. It's about, what's going on in the tech world, what's going on with Apple, what's going on with Google, what's going on with Facebook, everything. So that's where I got my passion of podcasting. And just a fun fact, I told Lauren this, that podcasting is actually originated from Apple because they had the iPod. So they use that wordplay, pod and cast, and that's how it became podcast. So, anyways, I love listening to podcasts with technology and also sports. I love sports. Just get to hear smart people talk about analytics about basketball, football, soccer, baseball, you name it. And yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of cool to work with Lauren because it's like a different side, right? It's one of those things where we have to put our relationship aside and just get down to the nitty gritty, get down to work, get down to this. So it's been experience that I've learned a lot, and it's actually helped us in our relationship because we're all communicating more and more and more, right? We're talking to a mic, and so I feel like it's worked out, and that's why we're still doing the show.
That's really dope. That's like really, really dope. And also, speaking of sports, the NBA is back tonight,
Yes.
and I'm so
Yes.
happy.
Who's
I'm
your team, Marcus? Who's your team?
Miami.
Oh,
Ooh, I
dang.
didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming.
Like I
Yeah.
was getting hell from everybody for like a solid 2 weeks, and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that your players were hurt, Dragic and Bam Adebayo for
Yep.
the finals, but yeah, you guys tore up the East, though. That was awesome. I didn't expect the Heat to be there, so it was a good finals for sure.
We didn't expect to be there either, but you know what? There. See y'all in the finals this year. Calm down.
Yes.
Alexia, who's your team?
Well, I mean, I would have to say the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have another team? It sounds like you have another
Yeah,
team. too.
so I moved around a lot. I
Ooh.
spent a lot of time in California, like most of my life between Northern and Southern California. But I was born in Illinois. So
Oh, wow.
Wow.
yeah, I
Ooh.
have like a soft spot just because like my dad used to get tickets to the Bulls games, like, and this was during the
Aw.
Jordan era.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
the Bulls also like I have like a little soft spot for them, but they haven't been too on fire. So
Yeah. Did you watch
That's
that
so cool.
documentary, The Last Dance?
I watch like bits and pieces of it. It was good, but I really I'm sorry, I'm gonna sound like a newbie about this stuff, but I watched like a Dennis Rodman documentary
Okay.
actually. And I love that one. I thought that was like super amazing. I thought this one was cool. It was great to get the insight, but I don't know. I like the narrative better of Dennis Rodman and his whole journey.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, The Last Dance was pretty much Jordan's story, right? Why he's awesome. People like, younger don't remember him playing. So it was a great way for him to show how great he was and how popular he was. I didn't know. I mean, I knew he was popular, but watching that documentary, it's crazy. Like, stadiums, people filled like the seats, and then outside too, just people just screaming like it was like the Beatles, but just him. It's crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, I can't even blame you because Dennis Rodman was a character.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
He's like
no one of one. So yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, it's just that narrative. And also I really liked the one on the Bad Boys,
Okay.
Detroit, like
Yeah.
all of that. Yeah, I thought that was super engaging. It's something about that story, and I don't know. I like that kind of like just different type of person, and like you
Yes.
see them and they're just like they're a star in their own right, and I really respect that.
Mhm.
That Dennis Rodman documentary is it on Netflix, Alexia?
I don't know if it is. I don't know if I watched this on YouTube. It might be on YouTube, or you can get it, I think, on like Apple.
I honestly think it was on HBO or some kind of show because I remember seeing the previews for it or like
Mhm.
someone's like, "Oh, they mentioned it," but I need to watch it because
Yeah.
he is a character for sure.
There's
Mhm.
so many crazy streaming services. Like I'm losing track. It's HBO, Netflix, what else? Apple TV Plus, Prime Video. I just feel like it's more of a like we're trying to get rid of cable, right? No one gets cable, but we're all buying these channels we want to watch. Oh, I'll buy Netflix, I'll buy HBO, I'll buy Prime. It's crazy. It's just so much content out there, and I think that's one of the things we did too during the podcast. We're trying to highlight the content um, during quarantine because a lot of people are at home, right? So what are we gonna watch? So we just talked about movies and also TV shows that we really enjoyed, and we got some recommendations from our listeners too. So we would talk about those of the next episode. So it was just all full circle, during the pandemic. I mean, we're still in a pandemic, but it's just what to do, right? Watch TV, read a book, listen to a podcast. So we just want to make sure everybody knows all the outlets they have to pass some time, right?
Yo, definitely. And that's honestly like a really good segue into a game that we play on our show called Let Me Put You On. So, Let Me Put You On is literally that. So, like, what have you been listening to, reading, watching that's really been speaking to your soul lately? And I'm going to go first. I am a huge Kid Cudi fan, and Man on the Moon 3 dropped, and it's just
Fire.
great. Thank you. It's just great. Like I appreciate that Cuddy decided to rap this year. Like he's rapping, and like it's not to say that like I don't know. He gets into his hum bag. He really likes to hum. And a lot of like the last few projects, there's a lot of humming, and it was great. But like
Mhm.
it's nice to hear him like writing out a lot of lyrics this time. So
Yeah.
what
I
about
was
y'all? What
I was listening to it. It's such a good album. And the cover itself, like it's purple. It's kind of like it resembles like our colors. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. It sounds like the old him, but something new, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah,
yes,
definitely. I hear you.
so good.
So like what else? What put us on?
Wait. I want to talk on
Oh
the
yeah,
Kid
you're
Cudi
right.
because it's so good. There's a few songs. There's one, I think it's about his girlfriend. It's her birthday, actually. I think it's September something, September 16th.
Mm-hmm.
That one's really good. And I really like the story of him. Marcus, maybe you know the song title, but it's like about a boy and all the things that happens to him and just like all of that. I didn't really know, his father passed away. He's also, is he half Latino?
He
I
is.
like his family, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. Again, just like the story. And he is a storyteller. So it was dope.
Yeah. Also, a lot of Cleveland pride. I lived in Cleveland, Ohio for a long time, so it's like I got a soft spot for Cuddy, and most Cleveland artists I usually cape for, honestly. So like, want everybody from Cleveland to win. So, but yeah,
Oh, Marcus.
most definitely
Is he your favorite artist, Marcus, or who's your favorite artist?
one of absolutely,
One of
yeah,
them?
he's up there because like Man on the Moon came out when I was, well, that's 2009, so that was my junior year of high school, going into my senior year. So like, what, 10 years?
Youngsters on this podcast. I'm like,
10 years strong, man. It's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
That album was really good. That was like legendary. Like him dropping that. I need to finish. I only went through like 4 or 5 songs, but the last few songs, like, I need to listen to, like, really into depth.
So yeah, Alexa, you want to go next? Want to put us on?
Sure, I will put you on to some things. So I really love movies and I really love the production company A24. There's this movie, it came out a while ago. It's called Waves and it is amazing. I think you can watch it on Amazon Prime if you have a subscription.
Mhm.
And it kind of goes through this like young boy's life. He's black. He like has this dad that's like super hard on him. And he's an athlete. And he's trying to like perform. He's a wrestler and he keeps getting injured. So then he ends up having like a drug issue. Um, but it's beautiful. The way that it's shot, the music, the acting's phenomenal. So I highly recommend Waves. It's amazing.
All right. Yeah, we have Prime, so we'll check that out because during the holidays we love watching movies, and we'll put that on the list for sure.
I want to watch it. I'm gonna make Manny watch it tonight.
Yeah, I definitely had seen like I think they had a showing of that at SC last year, and I missed it. So yeah, thank you for reminding me of that movie because I had meant to go back and watch it, and I hadn't done that yet. So
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like I watched it with my partner and we were just completely in awe, like crying, like so reflective too. I mean, it's beautiful. So please watch it.
I want to watch it. I'm the crybaby of when watching movies with
Yeah.
Manny. Listen, Manny doesn't like watch movies unless it's like with us two. Like I'll literally make him sit down and be like, "We're watching this." And in the beginning, he's a complaint. He's like, "Oh, I want to watch sports," but in the end of the season, he thanks me because you know
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys. Some people are like that, but
It's just weird. I mean, I feel like I need to watch a movie or a show with someone so we have something to talk about. We experience the movie. Because there's some things that you like, it's one of those things like you could talk about it, but also just experience it and watching her facial reaction. Like Lauren said, she's a little crybaby in some movies. It's funny. We're watching a movie. I turn to my left and I just see bawling. I'm like, oh my God.
tell him which movie. Tell him which
Okay,
movie.
so we went to the movies back in the day. I think the last one that she really cried was Planet of the Apes, the last one. I don't know if you guys watched it. And when
Girl, I cried.
yeah, when I don't want to
I
spoil it
cried.
if no one's seen it, but at the one of the last scenes, she was just
The last
crying.
one. I had mascara and everything done. I thought it was cute, going on a date with him because it was that time where like I would always get ready, and then usually I cry. I don't
R.I.P.
go. Yeah, exactly. When I was just like hair up, tied, chilling, whatever. But I like usually don't like go, but I like cry like it's like all over my face. It's bad. That's one thing I miss is the movies.
Hmm.
I don't know, just going in the theater, getting your popcorn, just sitting in a big dark room. I don't know, I
Mhm.
miss that post
Yo,
quarantine.
and to kind of circle back to our streaming conversation we were having earlier, like HBO is about to have a bunch of all those like 2021
Yeah.
releases on for like a month, and then like they're gonna disappear. But like, yo, for free for a month, you can get like watch all the newest movies. So like, yeah,
Hmm.
rest in peace to going to the movies. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah. So one of the first movies that is gonna come out is Wonder Woman, the new one. It comes out Christmas Day. And I was reading a story about that the executives at HBO and Warner Media, they didn't really tell the movie, the actors, the directors, they didn't tell them, hey, we're gonna do this. They just made the decision, like, hey, we're gonna put your movie on streaming service. And they were kind of outraged because a lot of the actors and directors get paid off box office. But because of the pandemic, they had to pivot, and Time Warner Media had to do something. So they want to get HBO Max off the ground. So they get new subscribers, by putting all these movies on. So yes, Wonder Woman comes out Christmas Day, and we're gonna watch it though.
For sure,
Yeah.
I want to watch that.
So either you want to put us on to something?
Yeah, I'll put you guys on. Okay, so Ariana Grande's documentary came out yesterday, and or was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I don't know, but I waited till midnight because I was excited. I love her, but I thought it was gonna be more of like tell of her background and like of like I don't know her story of making Sweetener, but it was just literally a concert. Like she was just playing her music, she was singing her songs, and I was kind of disappointed at the end. I was like, damn, like it was like 2 hours, and she had little bits and pieces of like behind the scenes, but it wasn't what I expected. I don't know if you guys got that same vibe or it was just me.
Yeah, so I had put it on while I was eating dinner, and I'm like sitting there with my partner. He likes Ariana Grande. Like he thought the last album was great, but
Oh,
right, he's not like super like Ariana Grande fan. Marcus knows my partner, so it's really funny. So I'm like sitting there eating, and I'm watching it, and I'm just like, I was like, I hope it's gonna be like a documentary. I want to hear kind of like her commentary. She's been through a lot. Like, I want to hear more personal stuff. And it was just feeling like it was gonna be a show. So I changed it. We put on Moesha, and that was that.
What? That's throwback. I missed that
Yeah,
show. I forgot about that show.
dang.
it's
Is that
so
streaming?
good. Yeah, Moesha's on Netflix. It's so
Really?
good.
What?
Yeah,
I
Yes,
didn't know that.
it is.
Damn, that's a
it's so
throwback,
like
throwback.
I told Marcus about this one episode. I'm
Yep,
telling you, Moesha has life lessons in it.
for sure. Absolutely. And side note, yes, Positions is a good album. Positions is a really good album. I low key am an Ariana Grande stan on the low, but just to put that
She
out in the open
No,
now.
she's good.
she is a legend and she's up there. I was just more expecting more of like a behind the scenes, like Alexia said. Like she's been through so much and she put in so much work. Um, but I know what I'm waiting for is Rihanna's documentary to come out. That's next summer. So I don't know if y'all heard, but I'm putting you on early, a year early, so in July. I'm a huge Rihanna fan. I love her. I love everything she's about, everything she advocates for, her Fenty line, everything. So
Mm.
that I guess I had an image in my head. I'm like, okay, Ariana Grande's gonna kill it with this documentary, but it was just a concert. So
I definitely didn't get my Fenty boxers when they dropped, so I'm
No.
waiting for them to restock. And also like I understand that she's doing all the business ventures ever, but like, and I will. Okay, she's dropping a cookbook that just happened. She just announced that like the other day, and it's like,
really,
like that's amazing, but like where's R9? Like you're doing everything but you're doing
Mhm.
The
everything but
fans be asking for
She's
R9.
putting it off.
yo. All right, I will patiently wait as I have patiently waited. So
She's playing games with you, Marcus.
She
where?
is.
Thank you for saying it out loud.
She's playing games with you.
I honestly think the album's gonna come out right before the documentary. That's my intuition. Or it's gonna come out after a documentary somewhere of next summer. She's teasing though.
And the fashion show, fr- so good, so good. Like
So
everything,
good.
like I don't know, yo. Like, Rihanna, if you're listening, thank you for everything. Just also,
Imagine she came on her show like, "Hey guys," like she put that, like,
Yeah,
"What's
we put it right in
up?"
the middle of
I
the Zoom.
know.
It'll be right in the middle.
I think I'd
yeah,
cry.
yeah, Marcus, I heard your shout out, made me want to get on your show. Like, yes, that would
Yes.
be ideal.
She's like, I'll hook you guys up with the Fenty boxers. I got you.
ASAP Rocky.
I
Who?
know.
Marcus in the
Yes,
building.
yes, I'll
She,
fight him. I don't care.
she's dating him now, huh? Sorry, side note, this turned into a Rihanna Stan
Yeah.
podcast collab.
Mhm.
Sorry about it. Not sorry.
Not
But
sorry at all.
she's dating him now, huh?
Yeah,
No,
I think they've been friends for a really long time too. So
The circle of life, man.
it's
It's
a good looking couple.
crazy. Yep.
It's a really good
yeah.
looking couple. Let's leave
I
it at
mean, he was on her campaign, right, for Fenty Skin.
Mhm.
So I kind of seen that coming. You know, she broke up with the prince. You know, had him on the campaign. So I seen that. Go Rihanna though.
Meanwhile, just dating princes. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you say about this woman? But I don't know. She's incredible to me. So
She is incredible.
What did she say? Or there was like a meme, like Rihanna's like, I just get tired of men.
I know. Seriously, like every quote she has about men is like, wow, like it's crazy.
Savage.
She is
She's
truly.
badass.
Yeah, Lo's the one that keeps me on the. She's my News, keeps me up to date with all celebrities,
Yeah.
all musicians.
No, it's only some. Don't make it seem like I'm like TMZ or something, but it's interesting.
Speaking of good, did you guys watch The Mandalorian? Does anybody watch?
yes,
I just finished it and
yes,
it's so good. Okay,
yes.
so a caveat, like I wasn't a big Star Wars fan to begin with. I didn't really watch the movies. I know some of the storylines, but The Mandalorian just grabbed me, and the whole Baby Yoda story. It's awesome. And did you catch the ending, Marcus? Did
I
you watch
did.
the?
I
Oh,
just finished it the other day.
whew, we're not gonna spoil it, but I'm trying to get Lo to get into the show, and yeah, it's one of my favorite shows of 2020 for sure.
Like, Lo, you might cry.
No,
She
that's why
she
I
will
haven't
cry.
finished
She
it.
will cry.
I haven't finished it because I cried literally every episode of the first season because I thought he was gonna. I don't know how Star Wars works that much. I just know that the Yoda we see today is like old. So I was hoping that's the same Yoda, and that was in my head every episode saying like, okay, like he's gonna live this episode because every episode, man, they don't take care of Baby Yoda. I'm like, I started crying. I told Manny like my heart can't take it. Like it's just I can't. Like I can't watch it, and then that's why I haven't finished it. Seriously, like that's the only reason why. Because I know
Yeah.
he's gonna get hurt. Someone's gonna get hurt, and I'm gonna start bawling again.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
No
But
spoilers. Yeah, we'll
you're
just.
really gonna love the ending of this last season.
I'm scared because I seen some reels of like babies crying, like literally traumatized for 2 days. I'll send it to you guys. Like their mom's like putting them on the camera, like, did you finish watching it? And there's like a girl brushing her teeth like 2 days later, like her dark circles. I'm like, that's gonna be me.
Oh my
I
gosh.
am. Yeah, I am not Mandalorian. Like I watch Star Wars, but I have no idea. All I see is like the little baby Yoda memes and how cute it is, but I have no idea.
Yeah, I think that show is a great starter for someone that hasn't been into Star Wars like myself or like with Lo. It's just a good way to get into it. And throughout the episode, throughout the seasons, there's stuff that comes up. So I have one of my buddies that's a big Star Wars fan. He breaks it down for me like, oh, this is why, this is why. But I think it's still a good entry level show to watch. And I mean, it's good. It's a really good story for sure.
Manny's
Yo,
obsessed, as if you can't tell. He like talks about it every single day. Like
yeah.
That's
he'll
my guy,
mention it.
man.
Like Yeah, I'm not gonna say your tag, gamer tag now.
Okay, so real quick, just I'm a huge gamer. I love playing I got the PS5, so I'm always on there playing with my buddies. And yeah, we play a lot of Call of Duty, so I changed my gamer tag to the Mandalorian. So just trying to replicate the badass, that the bounty hunter, but it's something I do for fun, right?
One of the kids was like, "Is that really the Mandalorian?"
That's awesome. Nah, man. Like, yo, also, like, Baby Yoda definitely sweep the nation by storm over like the last year and a half. Like, and I don't know if y'all saw this, but somebody tattooed Baby Yoda holding a white claw on
No,
themselves.
What?
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
I'll send that to y'all, but I was just like, yo, okay, Baby Yoda blew up and White Claw also blew up, but like, I felt like that too just represents like you just had to be there because like, what the hell? What? Like,
Yeah, that's weird.
White Claws and Baby Yoda. This is a time. That's like some millennial, like dashing some Gen Z vibes happening.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, this is something I've been thinking like when I was little. I used to be like, oh, like everything cool already happened. Like, nothing's going to happen that's going to be a part of the history books. I don't know why I thought that when I was little, just like reading history. And then,
Mhm.
The time that we're in now,
Yeah.
this is just, I mean, crazy. Like, this is history happening right now on so many different fronts. Like, I just really wonder, like, what are kids gonna say or look back on this time like.
Yeah.
What's next? Like,
I don't
I
know.
mean, 2020, we've seen so much within like so little time. It seemed like a decade, literally, in 2020. Like, I'm kind of nervous, not gonna lie, for 2021, but it's here. We're already here. It's so crazy.
yo,
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to agree, and like I feel like I'm at the point where like I'm tired of living through historical events. If y'all could just like chill out for a little bit, I'd appreciate it. But that's not
Yeah. But I think one of the things that 2020 did bring was a conversation about different things, right? Especially about social justice. And I know you guys, that's one of the things that you guys focus on your show. So do you guys want to talk about more about social justice and what it means to you and what it means to your listeners? And um, yeah, just give us the lowdown on that.
or the down low. Missing
Either or.
opportunity. We're so close. No,
Almost.
um, I can go first. So at least for me, it's like we have to talk about social justice and everything that's related to it because it's life and it's like it's a part of my life whether I want it to be or not.
Hmm.
It's a part of everybody else's life whether they're willing to admit it or not. And so, kind of going along with like the title of our show, Implicitly Awkward, like it doesn't have to be awkward because like we all see what's happening and we're all here, we're all experiencing it. So, like, we should
Hmm.
talk about it because like we're seeing it, and we're living it. And, we live it every day. And like kind of like y'all said, like it's every day is history whether like it gets reported about it or not. Like stuff, there's a lot of stuff happening, and like and
Hmm.
it's almost overwhelming sometimes. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but like
Yeah.
such is life. Like we have to know what's going on because like if we don't tell the story of what happened, somebody else is, and somebody else doesn't, it might not be accurate. So that's why social justice is important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think similarly to Marcus, for me, it's like it's in everything. Like my experiences growing up, like who I am as a person, being a woman, being Latina, having a mom that is an immigrant from El Salvador. Like there's just a lot of things that I can't deny that like have happened and experiences and also just like seeing friends as well and kind of understanding how history of this country and history of the world and people coming over and conquering and all these things like so it's all connected to where we are now. So like not understanding my identity, who I am, the history that has brought me to this moment, um I feel like I'm missing a lot of stuff if I don't do that. And also, how am I supposed to move forward in the world and make a positive change? And I just think as humans and citizens of the world, like understanding these things, understanding people have different experiences and systems are have been set up in a certain way to privilege certain people. So how do we have that understanding, understand the history, and how do we move forward in a way that we create equity for all people, not just certain groups of people? So to me, it's like it's a must. It's a must in terms of wanting to have a brighter future.
Alexia, I know you mentioned that you're also Salvadorian. Manny's also Salvadorian. So that's why I was like,
Yes.
oh, like I was
I know, I saw that. I was like,
yeah.
hey, is
Let's get some
somebody here?
let's get some
Yes.
pupusas after.
Let's go.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
a good spot for pupusas. So
I
like,
got you.
let me know.
Yeah, I'll let you
Okay.
know where for
No,
sure.
let me know,
Alexia,
please.
you're down the street. I mean, seriously, like we're down for pupusas anytime. Manny's the one that introduced me. Now I'll be craving like pupusas every week. Honestly, it's so good.
Yes. I'm
Yes.
so happy. Hello, my fellow
Yes.
Salvi.
I know.
Yeah. Like, let's be honest, it's hard doing a podcast during a pandemic.
Doing anything during a pandemic is hard, you know. So like, yes. So yeah, in so many words, yes. With like, but not just like the podcast, like also like school, you know, and like because crazy. We're about to graduate in May. Turn up. That's
Wow. Congrats, you guys.
I'm saying almost there. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yo, like maintaining school, like focus and like trying to maintain any glimpse of a social life, whatever that even means anymore.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it's a good thing that like at least for me having a lot on my plate because it forces me to like stay on my game as much as I can. I would personally I would rather be like really really busy than have nothing going on
Hmm.
because that like, it brings some type of structure to my day and my weeks and stuff. So
I had a
Yeah.
question for you guys. All three of you are going to school during the pandemic, during Zoom. How's that learning experience gone? Because we talk about kids, right? We talk about children in high school, but what about college students? What about people in grad school? What about, people in their undergrad? How has this affected you guys during a pandemic of because when I went to school back in the day, back in 2013, that's when I graduated. We're able to see our friends, we're able to talk, we're able to, share notes. But how has this learning environment like helped you, or I don't know, like what? I'm just trying to get a sense of how it is going to school right now.
Lexi, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Marcus. So for me, I received like a master's before this, so I've had like a whole program. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
So
Um,
this will be your second one, right, Alexia?
yeah, yeah. It's
Girl,
my second one.
kudos.
Thanks, girl. I appreciate it.
No.
So my experience there was like completely on ground. So I think like I kind of got lucky in that sense that I could like experience that as a master's student. But now, right now being this virtual environment, I feel like it is harder to connect with people and to have the type of dialogue and discussions you want to have in the academic setting that like really make it rich. But there's also been a lot of positives in like learning how to be in the virtual environment and how to like community organize in a virtual environment, like just with the work that I'm doing at my internship, like learning how to do that virtually and like connect with people that are across the country. Um, so it's been good in that sense, but I think Zoom fatigue is real. I think that it's harder to engage. Yeah, but the podcast, I would say, definitely has given, at least for me, like that space to speak more in depth about the stuff that we're learning and like what's going on. So, yeah, that's just like my thoughts about it.
You stated that perfectly, Alexia, because everything that we're learning in class can be applied to outside in the outside world. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the things I learned in class, I'm like, hey, like let's talk about this, let's talk about that. And I feel like with running a podcast, I kind of do the social media part, and then Manny does the editing, I feel like it's definitely, I get tired of being on my phone and I get tired of being on the screen. So there's a time where you have to be like, yo, like I need to like step back for a few days and just be like, okay, like I'll take care of that later because it's really hard. Like you feel tired. And there's a lot of like political stuff, the political atmosphere that was going on, especially during elections. I had to like step back and like, I'm gonna log off for a week. I don't know if you guys had to do that or what type of like self care you guys do, but it was pretty difficult during that time.
I was doing a lot of day drinking during that time. You know
Mimosas,
what?
Marcus?
No, no, it wasn't. It should have been.
What tight? What
I,
tight?
I totally missed an opportunity there. Dang.
Share with us your white claws.
Oh man, I
Baby
don't even-
Yodas.
You're the
White
one with the
Claws and
baby Yoda white
Yodas.
claw. That's you. We caught you.
I don't even like White Claws like that. It was Makers. Makers Marker's my joint right now. It's my yeah, but like
Nice.
it was that, and like I was watching just a lot of movies that time. Like the day of the election, I watched National Security, classic Martin Lawrence movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then I watched How High 2 with like DC Young Fly and Lil Yachty. Doesn't compare to the first one, but it's just as stupid. So like, it's whatever. I'm just trying to watch something like mindless. And then I watched Dead Presidents because Chris Tucker is in it. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna laugh at this. And that was totally like a drama, like a Vietnam drama. It was like, yo, okay, I am I ended with the wrong one. But you know what? It's cool. We here. But yeah, it was just a lot of just like not even gonna look at my laptop. And there's nothing there for me, I was just like, I'm just
Like
gonna
leave
watch
the
as
emails for
many.
later, huh?
Yeah,
'Cause
literally, because I couldn't focus anyway. Like that whole week, it was so hard to focus on anything for at least for me.
I think
Yeah,
during that time
absolutely.
was like going into finals, right? Like or preparing for finals. Was it? I'm confused. My dates are what month are we in now? Just kidding.
No, I
But
think you're right. I think it was like at
yeah,
the beginning of that. I think so.
like preparing for finals, like 2-3 weeks gonna be finals week, and I just feel like during the whole 2 weeks, because like that election was like always on the news, it was cool to stay updated and be like how everything changed within a few days, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time I was glued to the TV till like 2-3 in the
Yeah.
morning and just waiting for a speech to come on. I can't. Now I know and I've learned. So I'm gonna do some day drinking like Marcus said.
Yeah, it was just exhausting during that time. I mean, even for the anchors, that guy from CNN, John King, with a map, he's like, okay, I learned so much about counties like Maricopa County. What's it called? The one in Arizona, like all these counties, and they're breaking down like, well, we have the vote here. This is the percentage. It's just crazy, like the in-depth analytics that goes into an election and like them forecasting which states are being won. It's pretty crazy. And then you go on social media and then everybody has their opinion. Everybody, they're on one side or the other side. And I think that's why 2020 was like exhausting, right? Because it's so much divide in the country and it felt like everybody like, no, I can't listen to your opinion. I'm right, you're wrong. Like that's it. There wasn't really a time for conversation. It was just more people yelling at each other. And I feel like that was so exhausting. And the election was just like the pinnacle, like the volcano that erupted, right? And now I think people are still like having the conversations, but it wasn't as bad as it was before.
I guess I have a question in terms of that and like this concept of the divide. Like within your own community or families, do you feel like there is a divide? Can you sense any of that, or like your own personal experience around that?
I think for me, my family, I think we're all on the same page, but friends, right? You start learning about people, what their beliefs are, what they support, what things. And it was interesting because there's some people like you would have conversations with. There's a few friends that we have opposite views, but we learn to understand what one was saying, right? But there's some people that just take it to a different level. They don't let you talk. They don't let you say anything. They just feel like they're right, and whatever you say is wrong. They dismiss everything. I think that's wrong. I think it's just about having a conversation, and like Lauren said earlier, stating the facts, right? You can't get something off an IG page that like someone created 2 days ago and they reposted and like, oh, look at this, I found this. Like, no, you got to do your research. You got to, just like with school, right? You can't just pull things out of your ass and just talk about, well, I saw this on Facebook, so it must be true. Like, no, do your research, read, and, come with facts and have a conversation, a civil conversation. So I just felt like for me, it was exhausting. And whew, I just like let that out my chest, huh?
Definitely just having a podcast. I think there's some people that will like go in your messages just to be like, hey, like I'm still here and I'm gonna try to testify like what you're saying. And that time got a little bit exhausting. I told Manny like, yo, like you have to help me sometimes with these messages because sometimes people are in the inbox just to bug you, just to be like, just to say something. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys got the same issue or if you guys experienced that as well.
That's really frustrating. Like I can only imagine. I feel like with us and our podcast, we kind of state what what we're about, and we're about like social justice and equity and inclusion for all people. So like if you're tuning into us, you kind of know what you're gonna get. So we thankfully didn't get any crazy DMs, anything like that. At times I've thought about that with social media and kind of expecting someone to like go wild. But yeah, I don't know. We were like blessed because that didn't happen. And I don't know. I guess my question would be like, do you have to respond to them? Are they people you know, or are they just like trolls or what?
So some people are friends that we know, not that we hang out with them every weekend, but it's friend of a friend or we know them for a long time actually, but and they'll just, try to argue in the DMs. See, that's the thing. We need to differentiate whether they're trying to argue, whether they're having a debate, or whether they're having conversation.
Mm.
Because there's times where it gets heated, like right off the bat, they're trying to like they're putting some anger out in those words, and it's like, okay, like have a good day, Sometimes you have to be like, okay, like, do we have time for that? Do I have the emotional capacity to be going back and forth?
Hmm.
Or do you just not want to, like, maybe I'll get back to another day? Like I said, like, I'll reply back to messages, but it gets to a point where, like, okay, are you trying to argue or are you trying to debate or are you trying to learn? Like, I'm willing to learn, but don't come at me a certain way through messages, if that makes
That's
sense.
that's absolutely real, and I feel like that goes for like not just like your Instagram DMs too, because like you got to protect your energy, right? Just like you said, like, do I have the emotional capacity to have this conversation with you right now during this medium? If so, I'm gonna go into it. But also, if I don't, I'm not doing this, especially if I know that this is somebody who doesn't want to hear me. They just want to hear themselves like talk, you
Yes.
know? And
Hmm.
Yes.
like I've definitely at a couple of points this year taken the bait with trolls and just gone back and forth with them for and like, and you know what? Did it feel right in the moment? Yeah, like, did I know if I got my point across at all? I'm not sure. But like it's done now, and hopefully like people hear me out if like if I get willing to like actually have that conversation in that exact medium. But then there are also days where I'll be like, yo, if you really want to talk about this with me, like, yo, like, here's my phone number, like we can actually talk. But if you just want to like argue in comments, I'm not doing this with you.
Yeah, I just think it's more like having a public, platform. People are going to come in because we do encourage people to, contact us because we are about the community, right? We want to be able to have conversations with people that live where we live or people that have ideas too about like show suggestions or like people to bring on the show. So, I mean, we invite the messaging to the DMs, right? But then, like Lauren said, there's some people that just come straight off the bat with just like anger. It's like, whoa, bro, chill. You gotta take a deep breath and just, have a conversation and not like get angry about every single little thing. But like we said, we're about the community. We love Almani. That's where we're from. Most of our guests, 90% of our guests are from the city of Almani. And, we thank them for taking their time to come on the show and also like you guys coming on the show too. It's super awesome to to collab with such great people.
It's for our community, and we try to do the best that we can by adhering to like everyone's ideas and like incorporating that, or maybe if it's some kind of guest that wants to come on the show, like we're more than willing to be open to that.
Yeah, I feel like the key point of like everything that we're saying, if I like distill it, it's kind of right. If you actually want to have a conversation about it where voices are equally heard, that's one thing. But if you're coming into something because you feel that you're right and you're trying to justify it and you just want to win the conversation, then that's a different story. So it's like, right, we want to have a conversation. We want to hear the voices in the room. We want to like understand each other's perspectives, because it's not about being right or wrong. It's how can we work together, and how can, at least for me, it's like how can we create like equity, how can we be inclusive. But for some people it's really not about that for them.
Yes, exactly what you said.
That was
Stated
well
perfectly.
well stated. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Implicitly Awkward.
Yeah, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and on IG. We'll definitely be linking you guys on our show notes, and that way people could go listen to your great content. You guys really do have some amazing content. So, and you guys have some amazing merch that Lo's wearing as well too. We have our model for today.
Yes.
So make sure you guys. Oh, watch the mic.
Oh,
Yeah, we want to make sure
awkward.
that everybody supports each other, right? If it's just a share on Instagram, on Facebook, or Twitter, or Snapchat, or MySpace, wherever, it helps, right? I mean,
MySpace.
and MySpace, yeah. top
MySpace.
eight for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, to all of our listeners and followers, please check out DownLo Weekly Show. It's been a super honor to be able to collab and like just talk too, talk about being podcasters. And yeah, it's been such an honor. Mr. Marcus, sorry.
Oh, God.
Mr. Marcus, do you want to plug us?
Is it that time? All right, it's time. All right, so if you don't already follow us, please follow us at Implicitly Awkward on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter at Implicitly Awk, AWK, because there's too many characters. So Implicitly Awk, you know what I'm saying? Hit us up. We follow back.
Yes, we do.
Awesome. Thank you guys for wanting to be on our show. It is an honor to have Implicitly Awkward on our show. We had such a fun time. Hopefully we can do another episode in person when things cool down.
Yeah,
What do you
definitely
guys
be
think?
cool to do a 4-person in person in the studio, getting to see you guys and talk to you guys in person. We look forward to that.
Yeah.
Yo, and mimosas. We actually have to have the mimosa in person.
With White
Talk about
Claws.
this.
With the
Marcus
splash
with the white
with the splash of orange juice, just a
splash
splash.
of White Claws. Sorry.
Just a smidge, you know what I'm saying?
But
Just-
yes, that sounds great. Well, hopefully when things cool down, that'd be awesome. I'm holding you guys to it. Our new sibling podcast officially.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, so please,
ask a question?
yeah, go for it.
Lauren, did you have a question? Because I cut you off, so I feel
no.
bad.
Oh no, don't even worry. No, I was gonna ask you guys, what's the future like for Implicitly Awkward?
So one thing that we're still trying to do is create like the consulting like firm. So like we want to be those people that like people call when we need to have a conversation about race, equity, and inclusion. So like the goal is to be able to be like, yes, we're implicitly awkward, and yes, we're here to help. So let's just have a conversation.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, definitely. We want to be able to create those workshops, consult with various types of businesses, even like non-for-profits, continue to do our show, continue to have like amazing guests and collaborations, and grow merch a little bit, have some swag while we do all of this. So yeah, that's kind of like what we see. But what about y'all?
Let's see. What do we want to do, Manny? I'm just kidding. We just want to keep on doing shows. I mean, anyone who wants to be on our show, they're more than welcome to. They can message us. Yeah, we're just gonna keep on going until the wheels fall off.
Yeah, and also we want to still work on our merch. I know we talked about it a few months ago, so we're still trying to get that going. But we do have some cool designs, some cool ideas that to look out in 2021. It's already 2021. That's crazy. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, thank you guys for being on the show. Like I said to our listeners, make sure you follow your show on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Instagram, wherever you get your podcast, right? Because knowledge and information from two great hosts, that's always awesome.
Yes, thank you guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, peace and love.
Thank you.